This time on Wizard on Wizard, Sound Only Edition, the only podcast that tells you what it's like to be a wizard. We don't have a podcast. We're on break. The whole SEG is shut down, so we could take some naps and oil the story machines and replace the worn out parts and all that stuff. So instead of a podcast, we put together all the Dr. Hugo Holmes Now's Sonic Blast of Wisdoms, and you can listen to the whole What's Wrong with You, an introduction to what is wrong with you, as read by me or my underlings right now. The whole book, as words, for free. So, hope you enjoy it, and come on down to the Saturday Evening Ghost, where stories happen.
Hey, is your mom making you? Or do you actually want to go to college? If so, you might got to stop in to any one of the 47,018 locations over the next 6 weeks and talk to our student debt acquisition expert squad. Each squad is professionally trained and double certified to help you get all of the student debt that you are entitled to. This is something that you're going to be living with for the next 20 to 30 years. So don't make the decision about how to go into debt lightly. Make sure you get all the debt you deserve, all the debt you're entitled to, and all the debt you need so you can get a piece of paper that says you could sit still for 8 hours a day. Don't delay. Come on in to one of the 47,018 locations and talk to our student debt acquisition squad today. They will make sure that you will never make enough money to pay off your student debt, and that you get all the student debt that you need, and that your mom is happy. Because isn't that what it's about, really? Just because you're an adult now doesn't mean you can stop making your mom happy. 18s.
Thanks for coming to this very special edition of Wizard on Wizard, Sound Only Edition, Hugo Only Edition. Well, that's all I have to say about that.
Oh, bo, bo.
Buckle in your seats, kids. Strap on those helmets, because your soul is about to be violated and improved. Welcome to RDHH, Sonic Blast of Wisdom Superior Podcast. Hi, this is T. Volpone. You might know me from such stories as The Ruiner or Jimmy Jam and Sally Slam. I don't know how I got stuck doing this, but I'm going to be reading to you from What is Wrong with You, an introduction to What is Wrong with You by the Reverend Dr. Hugo Holmes Now. He decided that he wanted a podcast, and we decided his voice was too irritating. So, well, here we are. Okay, let's get this over with. What is Wrong with You? An introduction to What is Wrong with You by the Reverend Dr. Hugo Holmes Now, as read by T. Volpone. Let's see, there's a copyright notice. And, alright, here we go. Dedication. This tome and the wisdom contained within it are dedicated to you. Oh, jeez. It's going to be like this. Okay. Table of contents. I'm going to skip that. Introduction. You should be congratulated for purchasing this book. However, that would be inappropriate, since you wouldn't have purchased this book if you knew what was wrong with you. You can and will agree that you shouldn't be congratulated for having something, or more realistically, many things wrong with you and not knowing what they are. There are many options for the things that are wrong with you. Maybe you eat too much food. Maybe you steal things that aren't yours. Or you might be one of those people who pretend other people's babies are theirs. Perhaps you have parental issues. You most assuredly have parental issues. No doubt there is a sense of worthlessness within you, ruining all attempts at obtaining joy. There's also a history of incorrect relationship type behavior, isn't there? So many things can go wrong. It's amazing you got to the point in your life where you can see you need help seeing just exactly what is wrong. What the? This is surely something you should be congratulated for. The next part is called Why You Purchased This Book. You may have purchased this book because you know there is something wrong with you, but you can't quite put your finger on it. That is okay. You are on the right track. You have discovered that there is something wrong with you, and you should be congratulated for noticing. You already said you should be congratulated for noticing that the things that are wrong with you are interfering with what little is going right for you. But you can't be congratulated for not having things wrong with you. And then in parentheses it says, see above. Knowing there is something not right with how you are living your life is the first step towards finding out what is wrong with you. Once you know what is wrong with you, the solution is easy. You simply purchase DVDs and workbook after workbook, which will contain the wisdom you need to rise above yourself and become someone who has fewer things wrong with them. I am willing to provide you these DVDs and books, and much, much more. Soon I will, but not now. Soon though, before you know it, but after you'd like it, that's when. But the journey does not end there. It cannot. It must continue. Once you have fewer things wrong with you, you can then proceed to more advanced courses and DVD lecture series. Series? Are you seriously saying series? Many courses and DVD lectures which will enable you to see an entirely new world of things that are wrong with you. This process of fixing things that are wrong with you only to find new and exciting things that are wrong with you is called refinement. And it is an important process that takes many DVDs, life coaching sessions, and other instructions before it is finished and you are ready to be yourself. Personal evolution is not easy, nor is it for everyone, but it is most assuredly for you. You are exceptionally special and worthy. Oh man. Then it has a picture of Hugo in his shaman mask, and underneath it says, "Look at me, don't stop." And then the book goes on. I, the Reverend Dr. Hugo Holmes now, will show you all of these things that are or can be wrong with you. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I am a professional life coach. Oh, shaman, monk, nobody's all three. An inventor of the fantastic superior coaching system for self-maximization and goal attainment, sometimes referred to as FSCSSMGA, but not often. The magical shamans of the jungle have taught me things about how to fix people who have things wrong with them. Yeah, I bet they. People like you. Secret things that you cannot hear about right now. Why can't you hear about them? Because you are not ready. You are just ready enough to know that I know these things. And then, after we get to know each other better, I will show you them, and you will be frightened at first, then respectful of them, and finally resentful when you learn to see through them. You are ready enough to know this process is going to happen, but not ready enough for it to start. That's how ready you are. How ready is that, really? Going on. What the shamans of the jungle couldn't tell me, I learned from the mystic monks of the mountains, who I also have lived with and learned from. Right. Okay. I have spent many years absorbing their wisdom and gorging myself on their courses. They taught me how to repair the mystical parts of the soul in such a manner that it appears as though I have done nothing. Huh. You should try not to fix the things that are wrong with you. Not alone. That is both unwise, foolhardy, and bad for my business. Thankfully, you don't have to do it alone. You can do it with somebody else. I don't think you've ever done it with somebody else. Lousy life coach, I oughta. You can do it with me, the Reverend Dr. Hugo Holmes now. Let's do it together. Let's find out what's wrong with you and fix it before it's too late. Alright, so I'm going to stop here because I'm getting sick. That's the introduction. And I guess thanks for listening to the RDHH Sonic Blast of Wisdom podcast experience. I'm going to try to get out of this, I'm not going to lie to you, but chances are I'm going to be reading you chapter 1 next month. So, thanks again, I guess.
I hope you enjoyed Wizard on Wizen, Sound Only Edition, Yugo Only Edition, Episode 1. We'll be back next time with more readings from his books. If you like this, why don't you go down to SaturdayEveningGhost.com and check out all the other crazy stuff we have there for you. See you next time.
Hey, you tired of politics? Tired of making excuses for your kids' drug habits? Local church went Pentecostal? Has reality gotten too weird? Well, friend, you need to get weird right back. Come on down to Madman Mercury's Trickster God Emporium and get yourself Factory Fresh Loki's.
Loki.
$99.99. First 100 customers get a coupon for free fireproofing. Coyote Puppy.
Puppies.
3 for $1. Price to move cause half of them got mange. Brer Rabbit feet, 99 cents. Puka fur stoles, $129.99. 2016 Till Eulenspiegel. We have to let these go to make room for more inventory. $29.99, we're giving them away. Insurance policy not included. The kids in the creepy crawlies, we got terrariums full of Anansies. $2.99 a bag. Hey, set yourself up with some set.
Get set for set.
$24.99. Come browse a wide selection of new and used Cocopellis. Flutes not included. With prices this good, you'll think they're a trick. But you got my guarantee. Our prices are the only thing that aren't.
Hi. It's me, T. Volpone, again. I know I'm doing the rest of the podcast, but doing this part too. That fancy intro told you. This is the RDHH Sonic Blast of Wisdom, as presented by me or one of my underlings. By me, I mean Reverend Dr. Hugo Holmes now, the star of the podcast, who isn't me, T. Volpone, who's doing the podcast. I wish I had a reason for why that was happening, but so I think the best thing to do is just get going. Last time I read you the introduction to What Is Wrong With You, an introduction to What Is Wrong With You. So now we're going to read chapter 1. Chapter 1's called Chapter 1, How Things Went Wrong With You. And there's a picture of a revealing chart. It's a bar graph. It has 3 columns: yellow, blue, and green. And yellow is the things that are wrong with you, and it's at 96. I don't know what though. I don't know 96 what things, I guess. And then the blue is things right with you, and that's about 22. And then the green is things not right nor wrong with you. That's around 30. And then underneath it, it says, this chart has revealed a clue. The chart didn't even fully define the metrics it was using. So, okay, here we go. From the time your mother first held you, and you absorbed all of her fears into your mind, instead of allowing them to bounce off of your tiny body, there have been things wrong with you. Your father also broke you too, by being initially uncomfortable with his new responsibilities, and together your parents ruined you with careless thoughts and ignorant words, and before you knew it, there were things wrong with you. Your parents, they may have meant well, but meaning well doesn't mean that those mistakes weren't made. It means that they meant well, and now things are wrong with you. Terrible, but not insurmountable things. You may or may not have hope. You do have a chance at hope, and that chance is me, the Reverend Dr. Hugo Holmes now, and my books. Together let us examine, one by one, the sources of the things that are wrong with you. We will visit 7 common causes of your problems and begin to understand them. And then there's a picture of them, and it says, let us solve your problems together. And there's a yeah, there's a winky face emoji. So moving on to the next part, a dozen things that cause things to be wrong with you. Number 1, they're actually not numbered, I'm just putting them in there. The first one is your mom. Think about your mother. Think hard about her. How would you feel if a tiny human grew within your body and then ejected itself from your loins? You would feel like a monster. Hey, this is getting pretty good. That's how you would feel. Everyone would gather around you and tell you horrible things about the consequences of making tiny people and how you're doing everything wrong. This results in your mother mothering you according to what other mothers tell your mother being a mother is like, instead of just her mothering you directly. It's all very confusing, and that's why this book is here, to unconfuse you enough to know how much is wrong with you. I thought things were going to be different. Your father. Your father is not innocent either. Ponder the concept of fatherhood. Do it now, not later. It is little more than standing idly by while the woman you love mutates into a horrible monster that spits tiny people from her loins. Then you tell the tiny person that the world isn't as scary as its mother says it is, but is still kinda scary, so you give it a pocket knife, and you cross your fingers, and you go back to work at the factory. Your parents. Your father, as well as your mother, probably did their best, but that doesn't mean it was good enough. If it were, you would have bought a better book. Something about gardening, or backyard beekeeping, or homebrewing beer, perhaps. A different book nonetheless. Your mother and father have ruined you, not only as individuals, but also as a unit. Your parents often made executive decisions in the heat of the moment that they intended to be good for you, but were nothing more than feeble attempts to compromise between their ideas about rearing... Man, Hugo, you should try reading this out loud sometime. Your parents often made executive decisions in the heat of the moment that they intended to be good for you, but were nothing more than feeble attempts to compromise between their ideas about rearing children with what their parents would say behind their backs for not going about doing it the same exact way they would have. This sort of behavior can only result in things being wrong with you. There's simply no way for it to be otherwise. Oh man, I see what he's saying, but let's go. How were they to know that they were constantly setting an example for a tiny person who absorbed every one of their thoughts? You took your parents' words, feelings, and deeds and turned them into things that were wrong with you. It's as if they didn't know that and were treating you as though you were a toy or a means to prove their worth to others who will not let them be. It's amazing. Your parents had things wrong with them too, and these things were passed down to you in the form of the things that are wrong with you. There's an exclamation point at the end of that sentence, but I'm not sure how to interpret it. Your parents did what all parents do. They just acted the best they could in order to keep other people out of their business, and thought that that was the same thing as raising you. It's a common error, one that I see many times over in my practice of monastic shamanic life coaching. I can't believe I could say that without vomiting. I will aid you in the correction of this and many, but not all, of your problems. One of the worst things your parents can do for you is to make other tiny people and force you to live with them. This is a popular activity among many parents and is a main cause of what's wrong with you. We will now discuss the problem of siblings and then explore 11 more causes for the things that are wrong with you. Then you will be permitted a break of no longer than a quarter hour before facing the quiz that will determine whether or not you are prepared for what you will learn in the next chapter. Your siblings. If you have any brothers or sisters, then that is a source of what is wrong with you. If you have no siblings, or they have been replaced by pets, this too is just as bad. Are you in the middle? Were you the first to slide from your mother's loins, or the last? Ugh. No matter, each birth position brings with it unique and challenging sets of things that are wrong with you. The things that your siblings cause to be wrong with you are just as detrimental as the negative qualities your parents have instilled in you. Perhaps your siblings repeatedly ate your goldfish, or broke your favorite toys over and over. Maybe they would punch your balls and then start crying. Jesus! Framing you for a crime that never took place. Maybe they shot you, or lost your child in a card game. It does not matter what they did, just that they did things that have caused things to be wrong with you. Chances are you have contributed to things being wrong with them. Do not mention this. It is not even safe for you to think about it. Your friends. These people. Where to begin? If you want to know who you really are at any given moment, just mentally combine all of the things you find annoying about your friends into one single person. That person is you. Welcome to yourself. I hope you can handle it. Many people don't know how to choose good friends, so they let their reality-generating mechanism choose for them. Normally, this is a fine way to go about the process of selecting friends, but not if there are things wrong with you. If there are things wrong with you, then your reality-generating mechanism also has things wrong with it. That means the things that are wrong with you cause things to be wrong with your reality. It's all very simple once you understand how complex it is. We will talk more about the RGM, he abbreviated it already, when your mind is ready to hear about it, probably sometime during the next chapter. For now, just know that your mind is connected to reality by a hall of twisted funhouse mirrors that are out to kill you. Television and movies. Did you know that before gangster movies became popular, real gangsters looked and acted just like real people? It is true. They didn't go about gangstering everywhere they went. They were just like everyone else. Then gangster movies came along and portrayed gangsters in the manner we are all familiar with. When gangsters saw gangster movies, they thought that they should dress and act like the movie gangsters. This is how the movies make it so that there are things wrong with you. Television is just a smaller movie ingestion device. Think deeply about the above words and sentences and the ideas they are attempting to explain or convey to you. Ideas that no doubt you find invasive and uncomfortable, but ideas that will show up on the quiz. Ideas that you must allow to infect you. School and teachers. Think about how much you learned on your own before ever going into the ecto factory known as the educational system. You figured out an entire language, the names of most colors, a handful of numbers. You figured out why Christmas and Halloween aren't every day. You learned how to control your hunger, bladder, and poop machine. You did all of this in spite of having a mind full of undried glue and without any assistance from those who were supposed to be in charge of you. You were also starting to figure out you had things wrong with you, that you weren't like the other children. You were suffering and misunderstood, like most people. Like most people, you most likely assumed that other people had nothing wrong with them. This is one of the things that is wrong with you. Your failure to see that other people are also nothing more than a collection of the things that are wrong with them. This is an advanced problem and will be properly addressed in an advanced manner when you have reached level 30, but not before. Now there's levels. What level am I at? You are currently at level -1 and have many levels to go. Oh man. How many levels? You should be able to figure it out, but you probably can't. This is the fault of the substandard educational system that you partook in, combined with the things that are wrong with you. I don't think there's any hope for me. In school, your natural learning mechanisms are punched in the face until they are discarded in favor of being yelled at by a middle-aged, sexually frustrated woman who never wanted to teach, but had to do something to escape the tiny people she co-created. How did he know where I went to school? You can rest assured that this process of so-called education is going to be the cause of many of the things wrong with you. You were taught nothing by school and teachers, admit it. Accept that fact. The only thing that you learned is to feel shame for not fitting in, and that perhaps you emit a strange odor or have the cooties. Music and books. Music and books are similar to movies and television in the sense that they are a source of inner turmoil. Chances are every song you have heard and every book you have ever read has been nothing more than poison to your soul. The lies contained within these distractions have undoubtedly served as incorrect blueprints for reality. Wow. Without correct blueprints, nothing you build will be correct. We have not discussed reality blueprints until now because I didn't want to confuse you. Your life is already unbearable enough. Your religion. Your religion is incorrect. It is not true. So do not become angry at me for telling you something you feel in your bones is true. You must become comfortable with being uncomfortable if you want to have less things wrong with you. The only reason you even bother with pretending to be interested in your religion is to shut your mother up. Wow, it's like he lives my life. Admit this. Admit this as hard as you can. Then admit it harder. Then harder still. Admit this until it gets admitted no harder. Jeez. I don't know if I can admit things that hard. It is your soul, and you may sell it, rent it, or soil it as you see fit. You do not need religion. You need coaching. Remember this. It is important. Let me write that down before we go on. Alright, I'm ready now. And then there's another picture of him with the website for You Go Homes Now, which doesn't work because he doesn't pay his bills. So it was www.youareyourfault.com, but I don't think it is. I don't think it's there anymore. Okay, so on with the book. This is the list of things that have caused things to be wrong with you. This next one is your genitalia. No matter your genital configuration, it has caused you many problems. Huh. Yeah, he's on to something here. The genitals of others have also caused uncomfortable moments. Check. There is simply no way to have genitals or be near someone who has them and not have this become a source of trouble for you at some point in your life. It's like he's reading my mind now. This is really super creepy. Dealing with the problems that your genital configuration has caused you is no easy task. You must be willing to expose many parts of yourself in many different ways before you are free of these troubles. Genitals and the problems that they can, will, and have caused you are a complex subject and there will be many books and audio lectures to address these issues. If you care about fixing what is wrong with you, you will purchase these things. The voices in your head. Do you know that other voices are inside your head? Think about the one voice that is not your voice, but is still your voice. It is the one that yells at you and keeps you from conquering your dreams. Do you know that one? It is the same one that keeps you awake at night. It was put there by your parents as they spoke incorrectly to you, teasing you like a tiny version of a person instead of an empty vessel trying to make sense of this dimension and the horrors that come with it. They couldn't help but assume you could process complex ideas such as humor, sarcasm, and parental goofiness. They failed to realize that you were a pile of clay who soiled its pants while it was also struggling with the initial stages of physical manifestation and looking for solid advice and guidance for how to properly mature, and they only received nonsense syllables and belly raspberries in return. This is my childhood. This failure by your parents is one you must pay for with every breath you take. Wow. Your inability to distinguish reality from your feelings. It may come as a surprise to you, But your feelings and the things that you feel are not the same thing as what is happening. Confusing your emotional reactions with reality is common and is just one of the many things wrong with you. Your feelings are neither right nor wrong. They are just loud. Thinking otherwise is folly, and folly always leads to things going wrong with you. When you're serious about fixing what is wrong with you, you will see this. If you do not see this, do not worry. You will come to see it in time. Your refusal to admit that you're not the only thing in the world. Look around. Do you see other people? The chances are that you do, even if they are only on your television or in your imagination. This is proof that you are not alone. Proof that others exist. You need to be comfortable with the fact that you are not the reason the sun rises and sets. You need to be comfortable. Shh. It is time to relax. Just allow it to take place. If you are uncomfortable with this, then you should call me and we will discuss things until you are. Reasonable fees may apply. Okay. Alright. Here's the quiz. Mandatory quiz. During this book, you will be forced to partake in quizzes and tests of various types. We'll see about that. These are an important part of the process you are undertaking. If you skip these quizzes, you will gain nothing from my wisdom. That would be a shame. Reading this book and not taking the quizzes is like chewing steak and then spitting it out before swallowing it. Steak is not gum. It must be chewed and swallowed. So too must my wisdom be swallowed. As my teachings drip out of my mind into this book, you must slurp them up and allow them into your mind. Oh, God. This is not as disgusting a process as it seems. That's good to hear. It is natural and somewhat organic. These quizzes allow you to see how much you need this, how much you want it. We'll see about that. Okay, so quiz number 1. This is a true or false quiz. Simply read the statement and decide if it is true or if it is false. Number 1. Your mother is the source of what is wrong with you. True or false? Number 2. Your father is the source of what is wrong with you. And then true or false? And then number 3. Your parents are a source of what is wrong with you. True or false? 4. Your siblings are a source of what is wrong with you. True or false? Am I going too fast? Can you guys keep up? Your friends are a source of what is wrong with you. True or false? Number 6. Television and movies are a source of what is wrong with you. True or false? 7. The education system is a source of what is wrong with you. True or false? 8. Your religion is a source of what is wrong with you. True or false? Your genitalia is a source of what is wrong with you. True or false? 10. The voices in your head are a source of what is wrong with you. True or false? 11. Not being able to tell your feelings apart from reality is a source of what is wrong with you. True or false? Geez. 12. Your inherent self-centeredness is a source of what is wrong with you. True or false? This book is your only hope for a decent life. True or false? This quiz was useful because it reinforced the concepts presented so far and made me aware of some of the things that are wrong with me. And it was in list form. True or false? Scoring the quiz. If you have answered any of those questions by circling F and so indicating that the statement is false, then you are unfit to evolve. You have chosen to look upon truth and refused to see it. This means that there is too much wrong with you for me to help you. Do not despair. It is too late for that. Just resign yourself to always being broken. Okay, that was chapter 2. That wasn't as bad as the introduction. I think there might be some good spots in this book. We'll see though. Next time, I'm going to read chapter 2. This is T. Volpone doing the RDHH Sonic Blast of Wisdom. We just heard from the book of What is Wrong with You an introduction to what is wrong with you, and we read chapter 1, and it was all about things that are wrong with you. Okay. Well, I fulfilled my contractual obligations for this segment. I guess I'll see you at the rest of the podcast. Well, okay. You ought to know what this is by now. It's the same as it was last time. Hi, it's me, T. Volpone, back again. Gonna read you chapter 2 of Hugo Holmes Now's great book, What is Wrong with You? An introduction to what is wrong with you. We've been going through it chapter by chapter every week, and I gotta tell you, I was a little skeptical at first, but it's starting to make some sense. Let's see what, let's just get right into chapter 2 here. Chapter 2. The fear matrix, the ego vortex, the reality generating mechanism, and how those things are affected by the things that are wrong with you. Okay. The mystic monks of the mountains have studied the soul for centuries and have found it generally consists of 3 main parts: the reality generating mechanism, the fear matrix, and the ego vortex. Some people have more components in their souls and others have less. It all depends on what your mother ate during the 4th month of pregnancy. I think he's losing me. Now might be a good time to take a closer look at the main components of the soul. We have listed them, but that is not enough. It never is. They must be explained. They must be extrapolated upon. You must become familiar with the reality generating mechanism, the fear matrix, and the ego vortex. And you must know how they work and how you have destroyed them with ill thinking caused by the things that are wrong with you. Alright. Maybe I spoke too soon. Yeah, let's keep going. The reality generating mechanism. This part of your soul is a complex web of complexes, nice, that determines how you make your own reality. It consists of many subparts, too many to list here, and there are always more being discovered all the time. So you will agree that listing all parts of the reality generating mechanism is not the point here. Sure seems that way. What is the point? The point is, okay, here we go. The point is that you make your own reality with your thoughts, actions, and how you focus the resources of your mental mind. Just like all the other coaches and self-help books say. What they don't say is something only I have the nerve to say. This thing that I have to say is this. It took a while. The resources of your mental mind are not working correctly. This is evidenced by how awful your life is going, and has been going, and will continue to go until you fix the things that are wrong with you. You've allowed your reality generating mechanism to manifest all manners of trouble because you don't pay it a proper attention. You don't even know, well, you didn't even know it was there, did you? You have been using the law of attraction to attract a bunch of trouble and nonsense. Is that why? I thought it was just my bad habits. Refusal to change. Blah blah. Attract a bunch of trouble and nonsense when you could have not been doing that instead. Sounds simple enough. There's his picture again, and underneath it says, "I have said it." I'm not sure what he said. Anyway, I'm not getting paid to understand this crap. Now that it has been said, and you have heard it, even if you read it, you have heard it. Alright? In time, you will feel it. I am here to make sure that you really feel it. I don't know, man. I'm not saying I'm feeling it anymore. I felt chapter 1, but chapter 2 is kind of losing me. Here we go. The fear matrix. If you are at the point where you are turning to this book for help, instead of actually solving your problems by doing what you are afraid to do, doing what you are afraid you must do, I'm really tired today. Then you have a broken fear matrix in addition to a faulty reality generating mechanism. The job of the fear matrix is to take information from the reality generating mechanism and determine whether or not it is scary. If it is found scary, then the fear resolution process is begun. This process is contingent upon both the reality generating mechanism and the fear matrix having a nice working relationship. When they are in harmony and working correctly, then they will get along, and you will notice the only things that are actually dangerous to you will incite fear. That would be nice. For example, a person with a healthy reality generating mechanism and fear matrix will, upon seeing a large and angry wolf, simply intuit that this is not an advantageous situation and calmly resolve the conflict in their favor. And I gotta tell you guys, I don't know about this. I keep saying that. I'm not doing anything about it. And then I keep doing this. I think that's what he's talking about. I think what's wrong with me is I have to read this stupid book. And alright, the quicker we get this over with, the quicker I can fix my reality generating mechanism or whatever. Man, I feel lighter. The above example makes it easy to see that the fear matrix and reality go hand in hand to produce your world and how you handle being afraid of both wolves and non-wolf related problems. This would be one of those. Non-wolf related. Yeah. The trouble is that of all the things that are wrong with you have resulted in these soul parts being miscalibrated. Miscalibrations cause miscalculations. Miscalculations cause missed opportunities. Missed opportunities result in more things being wrong with you. So you could see how important it is to repair your broken soul parts before they ruin what is left of your life. The ego vortex. The ego vortex is unique in that it is the only part of the soul that is visible to others. Your ego vortex is similar to your personality, but not identical to it, because then it would be called your personality and not your ego vortex. Sometimes he just makes so much sense, and other times it's like a puppet to learn to talk from listening to audio books of self-improvement manuals. It is important that you pay attention to the words you read, hear, and say to make sure that you know what they mean. A proper ego vortex understands. If you feel as though you aren't understanding something, then you can blame a rusty ego vortex for it. You can do that, but it would be better to blame yourself for allowing your ego vortex to become encrusted with rust. I hope you guys could hear that. I hope you could hear it, Hugo. If you can do this, then that is a sure sign that you are ready to have less things wrong with you. Repairing soul components. Repairing a damaged soul, which consists of a busted reality generating mechanism and interfacing with your ego vortex while mitigating the fear matrix to bring about positive growth fulfillment, is something that you shouldn't do alone. It is something that you cannot do alone. If it were, don't you think you would have done it by now? No one argues that a broken soul is a good thing. As someone who has lived with a broken soul for most of their lives, I'm sure you can agree. How do you go about repairing your broken soul? You must first identify and resolve the things that are wrong with you. You have already been exposed to the causes of what is wrong with you and taken a quiz about it. That should have helped, but not in a way that you were able to notice yet. You also know what the three parts of the soul are and have been exposed to the idea that your problems are nearly insurmountable, but there is hope in the form of help. The help you need depends exactly on what is wrong with you. You will not be quizzed in this chapter. Thank God. You're in no shape to take a quiz. Hey, who the hell's calling? What's Gary want? Guy's a little weird. Okay, so we don't get a quiz. We get a joke. Here's the joke. Why did the chicken cross the road? And the answer to the joke is, you should be concerned with your own problems, not with the affairs of chickens. And that's it. We're halfway through, everybody. We got 2 more of these left. Thanks for roughing it out with me. I'll be back next time on Chapter 3. Alright, I guess I better go. Where did I put that gun? I gotta do something today. Hi again. It's me, T. Volpone, and I'm back with another contractually obligated edition of the Reverend Dr. You Go Home's Now Sonic Blast of Wisdom podcast, as read by me or my underlings. I got super high before this because I thought I would make it more fun, but I was wrong. Today we got Chapter 3. Chapter 3. Now we are down to the meat of the heart of the matter. He put an exclamation point in there, but I didn't say it. I don't think you can blame me for it either. You should have learned something from reading this book by now. In fact, you have learned 1,001 things that have happened to you that have caused things to be wrong with you, and you have learned the 3 parts of the soul. That's 16 things. Let us list the things we have learned in list form. And there's a big title. It says, the things you have learned, the 1,001 causes of what is wrong with you. Number 1 is your mom. That's your mom, your mother, your lady dad. Number 2, that's your father. Number 3, your parents. Number 4, your siblings. Number 5, your friends. Number 6, television and movies. 7, school and teachers. 8, music and books. 9, your religion. 10, your genitalia. 11, the voices in your head. 12, your inability to distinguish reality from your feelings. 13, your refusal to admit that you're not the only thing in the world. And then we got the 3 parts of your soul. Number 1 is the reality generating mechanism. This part of your soul takes what is wrong with you and uses that to construct your reality for you. Number 2, I don't know. Number 2 is the fear matrix. This is the part of your soul that tells you what to be afraid of. Number 3 is the ego vortex. This is the part of your soul that is similar to, but not synonymous with, your personality. And then there's a picture of Hugo, and it says, I have inserted the tip of my mind into your soul. He's really big on the thinly veiled double entendre there. I wonder what that says about him. Anyway, if you've been paying attention, you may have noticed that in Chapter 1, I told you that there would be discussing... I hope that's a typo. If you have been paying attention, you may have noticed that in Chapter 1, I told you we would be discussing 12 things that have caused things to be wrong with you. If you were paying attention, then you would have noticed that there are in fact 13 causes of the things that are wrong with you on the list. Did you notice? Have you passed the invisible quiz? As a life coach, I can do many things to you, but I cannot make you pay attention. I can make you pay for other things. Things like live one-on-one sessions, intensive 3-day-long retreats, DVDs, books, and subliminal audio recordings that are meant to do little more than take advantage of the fact that you will not pay attention. If you will not pay attention, I cannot help you. I can only take advantage of you, and you cannot help yourself. You can only be taken advantage of by me. Why am I telling you this? Why am I exposing the game instead of selling it like all of the other life coaches? Because I am not like other life coaches. I am superior to other life coaches. That is why you have chosen my book to help you discover and correct what is wrong with you. Consider this true tale that I was forced to witness as I did my weekly food shopping. Now I got a story. It's called The Old Lady Who Would Not Pay Attention. Imagine you are in the supermarket heading east on a strip of aisle between frozen foods and organic frozen foods. Right near aisle 9, where they keep the cooking oil and vinegars, you notice an old lady. She is shouting and spinning in circles. This sounds familiar. She has clearly approached the entire concept of food shopping in an incorrect manner. She is spinning in circles and yelling, "Where is the oil? Where is the oil? Why can't I find the oil?" She can't find the oil because she forgot both where the oil was and also that she could just look around by moving her head instead of spinning. How did she forget this? She forgot this because she panicked. I told Hugo that story. That happened to me about 2 years ago. I was helping my parents out going food shopping, and that happened. And I told it to him. And he stole it, put it in his book. Man. Why did she panic? Because her reality generating mechanism was giving her false information, because her fear matrix refused to understand that not being able to find the cooking oil in a grocery store isn't a life and death matter. The reality of the situation was ignored, so her ego vortex suggested she yell and spin in circles in order to protect herself from herself until someone who knew where the oil was would tell her. No one told her. She's still there, spinning and yelling. That's not true. She got tired and left. It has been months and she is still there. I was just there last week. She's not there. Why does he do things like this? Why you were told this story? You were told this story to illustrate a point. The point is that if you do not pay attention, then you will at some point spin around in public and be unable to locate the goods you are intending on purchasing. The behavior of the old woman in the supermarket was neither sensible nor useful, and behavior should be one of those, at least. This is a sad story because her actions made perfect sense to her, and they shouldn't have. It is the only way for someone who refuses to pay attention to how they behave to behave. They have no other option but to stop and spin around in circles, forcing everyone around them to look at them and go, "That lady or man is an idiot or a moron." You are behaving like this person every time you don't think about what you say before you say it, or do something you don't want to do so someone else doesn't have to feel bad. If you want to have less things wrong with you and enjoy the sort of life that having less things wrong with you brings with it, then you must pay attention. You must live in the world around you and allow it to be what it is. You must look, you must see. When you begin to pay attention, you will find out all the things that are wrong with you and more. That one wasn't so long. Chapter 4 is next time. We made it through that one alright. Lousy story stealing dick. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Back to the regular podcast. Ladies and gentlemen who have to take off their clothes to pay their bills, we're talking to you. Most people might treat you like the drug-addled parasites that you are, but not those of us down at Stripper's Choice Vodka. We understand. We understand that nobody goes into a profession where they're forced to take off their clothes in order to pay their bills, unless everything else in their lives have gone horribly wrong. And when everything in your life is going horribly wrong, has gone horribly wrong, and probably will always go horribly wrong, you deserve a little something to take the edge off. You may be familiar with Stripper's Choice Percocet infused vodka, the only vodka that contains synthetic opiates. Now we bring you something better. You called out and asked for this, and we gave it to you. Now introducing Stripper's Choice Highball. It's a mix of fentanyl infused vodka and energy drink that'll have you asking, why should I choose between up and down? Why can't I have both? I need this. I need this. So, go on down to your doctor and ask for a prescription for Stripper's Choice fentanyl infused vodka mixed with energy drink. And now, back to our program. Steve Volpone, back with the next chapter of What's Wrong With You, an introduction to what's wrong with you. We already did the first 3 chapters, so we're here at the 4th and final chapter, which is entitled Helpful Quizzes, and I kind of already doubt that. Okay, here we go. Quizzes are fine and useful ways to illuminate various concepts and highlight certain processes so that you may come to understand yourself a little better. You may find that this happens to you while engaging with these quizzes. You may find something different happens to you. This is fine by me, as long as something happens to you. So now we're on to our first quiz. It's called, What is your spirit animal? Oh, great. This is not so much a quiz as it is a quest. Do not worry. I'm well aware that you are not a Percival, but you could still... Oh, I see. He spelled Percival like the knight from Arthur's Table that got to see the Holy Grail. He broke it up into... anyway, gag's not worth it. Anyway, you can embark on a quest that is in quiz form. That's convenient. The shamans of the jungle believe that every flesh person has a spirit animal whose job it is to teach lessons and impart wisdom to their flesh person. The process of discovering and learning about your spirit animal was once a complicated affair which involved fasting alone in the wilderness for weeks. Thanks to the wonderful world that we now live in, the process has been reduced to a quiz. That's good. Okay, so it's multiple choice. What do you think your spirit animal is? A, a bird. B, an elephant. C, an orange kitten. Or D, an octopus. I'm going to go with octopus. What do you want your spirit animal to be? A, a wolf. B, a dragon. C, a dolphin. Or D, wolf, and in parentheses, a different kind. I see where he's going. Do you prefer to eat things or to be eaten by them? A, I prefer to eat things. Or B, I prefer to be eaten by things. And question number 4. Do you wish you could A, fly, B, swim, C, live a life free of the things that are wrong with you, or D, afford that operation? Okay, and then there's a picture of Hugo, and the caption says, I am not a wolf, I am a man. And then here we go. This is the score of the quiz. Your spirit animal is a wolf, just like you thought. It might not even be a wolf, but you will insist on it being a wolf, just as everyone else always does. There are many spirit animal options, you know. It's not just all wolves out there. Give that some thought. That's the first piece of good advice that's been in this book. Okay, the second quiz is called, What shape is your soul? It is common knowledge that every soul has a shape. This shape is either square, rectangle, an oval, or an octagon. Never a circle. The shape of your soul determines what shapes it is not. It is just as important to know what you are not as it is to know what you are. You already know what you are. You are what you eat. This quiz is true or false. 1. I often think about what is wrong with myself. And then, true or false. 2. I delight in looking gift horses in the mouth. Again, your choices are true or false. 3. The things that are wrong with me are everyone else's problem too. A, true, or B, false. Just like the others. Number 4. Many people have told me that I resemble a stop sign. True or false? Okay, that's it for the quiz. This quiz will tell you one of 2 things. It will tell you whether or not your soul is octagonal shaped or if it is not. If you answered true to the last question, then your soul is stop sign shaped. If you did not answer that question correctly, then you must retake the quiz until you find out what shape your soul is in. Hint: 99.9% of souls are octagonal. Alright, and here's the next quiz. What shape is your soul in? The shape that your soul is in determines how comfortable it is with its shape. For example, an octagonally shaped soul is more uncomfortable when it is in a square shape. This should be obvious. I guess it should. This quiz is false or true. I guess it's a little different. Number 1, my soul feels okay. False or true. Number 2, my soul feels cramped. False or true. My soul appears to be wearing an ill-fitting smock. False or true. My soul is confused by what it feels. False or true. And that's it for that one. If you answer true to question number 1, then your soul is in good shape. The answers to the other question are of no consequence. And then there's another picture of Hugo. I know you must have quizzes, so I gave them to you, he says this time. Now this quiz is called, What is your love style? There are many ways to love, and not all of them are correct. Many are harmful, some require special equipment. Knowing your love style is only useful if you are capable of love. No quiz can tell you that. You must learn that on the streets. For our purposes here, you are to consider yourself unlovable. There are too many things wrong with you, and you need to be concerned with fixing them, not making them worse. Soon, there will be time for you to love if that is something that you are interested in. But for now, just take the above quizzes. And I'm just going to read the conclusion so we can get this over with. So the conclusion is another picture of Hugo, and it says, I have finished with you for now, but it is not over for us. Well, we'll see. You cannot be outright congratulated for being the sort of person that has many things wrong with them. We have covered why several times already, and I am becoming tired of reminding you. You should be congratulated for reading this book until the very end. This shows that there may be help for you, even though there most likely isn't. You can fix most of the things that are wrong with you, but you probably won't, at least not for a while anyway. You are off to a good start, and that is something. The next step in your journey involves spending many hours thinking about how you behave and seeing how your behavior is influenced by your faulty soul components. Do not purchase any further books or look elsewhere for inner growth opportunities. You must commit to a single path and be dedicated to it. Your path is now marked. There is no turning back. And then there's some end matter here I guess we should go through. It's called More. You must have more. Let's see, let me just read it ahead and see if it's just how to get in touch with them. And then it's bio. I'm not reading that. Then there's a section for notes. Okay, I guess next month we start reading his other book, Conquer Your Dreams. How to conquer your dreams and accomplish your goals instead. That's it, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go cry.